This is the 2014 Corvette Stingray, and as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. Couldn't have found a better location. Now, we have a very interesting day ahead of us because we're about to detail it very quickly and bring it into Manhattan, into Times Square, to pick up Austin Mahone. It's going to be a wild, weird, and fun day. We're going to do a little bit of a review and show you more of the aesthetics, the ergonomics, and the emotion that you get from driving a car like that. That's all coming up today on this episode of Ride Along. Today is such a unique day. We're going to be cleaning the car and talking about it at the same time. And unique in the fact that I only have like an hour and a half or so before I got to head to the city and go meet this young guy. So let's get to it. So of course, wet down the wheel. This one definitely needs a little plum wheel cleaner. Okay, so three aspects. The three of them are going to be the paint, the fit, the finish, that sort of maybe more of a cleaning and detailing aspect, and we'll talk about the inner wheel wells in a second. And then we're going to talk about the design of the car, meaning the overall aesthetics or ergonomics. And then another thing I want to talk about is the emotional connection. And I think that's probably the most important thing that you get from a car. Like I said in many other videos and before, it's not so much about how many thousands of horsepower a car has, it's more what the feeling it gives you, what you derive from that feeling. So I let the wheel cleaner sit for about 20-30 seconds, take my wheel brush, get behind there. You guys see me do this before, but we're gonna do it again. You always work from the top to the bottom and let the cleaners do its thing so you don't do extra work. Now, as I'm cleaning this wheel, one thing I want to point out is that the inner wheel wells here are carpeted. Now, the reason why manufacturers do things like that is because it knocks down the sound, meaning it sounds quieter or I guess louder with the exhaust, or however they want the sound to resonate inside. It's not going to be the road noise. Nobody really wants to, ooh, is there an increased road noise? Let's make that louder. Nobody really wants that. They want a louder exhaust, or they want, you know, like Lexus or something, they want quiet, or Cadillac quiet. So this allows them to manipulate the sound according to whatever it is they want it to sound like. The downside for detailers is when you get all this gunk in here, like the leaves, it's starting to turn fall. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get out. You kind of have to get in there, use the power washer, use your hose on sniper nozzle there. And what happens is it kind of reminds me of Volkswagen's interior, you know, the nappy sort of hair interior. Kind of a pain in the butt, so just keep an eye on that. But I love the idea that they're working with here. It's just a more refined car, so that's cool. I dig that. Another little thing I want to point out is on the fly this morning, you know, you've seen me go like this and bang this wheel brush, which I've had now for 2 years, soaking in water for 2 years, not just sitting around. Just I left it in there because I want to see how bad. This finally, after 2 years, the ring around here popped off. The interesting part is none of the hairs came out. This is the most incredible thing ever. So little things like this get me excited. Now that the wheels look spectacular, what we're going to do next is rinse the car down to get about 80-90% of the heavy dirt off. As you can see, it's not that dirty. Then after that, we're going to use the foam gun. And now a lot of you have asked me about the dilution ratios and how to use it and which, you know, move the levers around. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to then clay it. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a little bit rough. And we're going to use the lubrication from the wash system, so it's going to be very fast. Remember, we have a time constraint. I'm also going to do a little bit on the interior. I'll show you. All the while, I'm going to be talking about the aesthetics, the fit and finish, the gaps. Are they all looking appropriate, as well as the emotional connection with a car like the Stingray. Now, that's easy to say because this thing is pretty cool. So we're going to do all that, then blast into the city, like I said, to go see the young man Austin there and deliver him to Z100 radio show for, you know, some press things. So. All right, let's talk about foam guns for a few minutes here. Now, a lot of you have asked This is what happens when you remove it. Now, a big issue that I run into when people say that it's not, the foam gun isn't working, and let me put a little caveat on this. This is old school. Look how old it is. I've had this forever, so I think the newer ones that I've linked to on Amazon look a little different, but the concept's the same. Nonetheless, you're gonna need a straw in there. A lot of times people say, hey, it's not foaming, it's not coming out, it's just water, or it's not working at all, or any, things like that. It's because the straw isn't in there, and obviously it goes in like this. So the first thing you want to do is I like to take some soap, right? And I put 1, 2, and then we're going to do a third one. Now remember, the foam gun is going to use more soap. It's just kind of the way. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to use a little bit more soap. So what I like to do is cover the bottom, depending on the size of the car, but this one's really not that dirty, but I like to cover the bottom with the soap. Can you see it in there? And then on this, you're going to want to put this, see how you can slide it back and forth? Right now it's stuck on the big because I only use it on the big. You want the biggest hole, meaning the most air to go in here so it foams the most. That means you're going to use up the soap really fast, but I don't really care because I just want a lot of foam when I'm doing it. I don't want to try to, skimp here and there. It doesn't make sense to me. So, of course, you have this on your nozzle, and you're going to pull this back and put this in like this. But you really got to push hard because a lot of times it'll pop off. So make sure you get in there. All right, next step, this is the big one, is once it's covered on the bottom there, I take a little bit of water and slowly, you got to do it gently, put a little bit of water in there, maybe half to 3/4 full, until the foam kind of gets a little crazy. So you got to go slow so the foam doesn't get you. But I like to do that. See how it's starting to turn a little green on the bottom? Spin it around, do that, and then you're good to go. You just need a little bit of water to start to prime the pump, if you will. Tighten it up, plug these two on, and then you guys know how to foam from there. But hopefully that answers a few questions that you've asked. It's time to foam it up, wash it down. I'll do that quickly, and then we'll chat again about the clay process. All right, so we washed the car, and I have to tell you, I'm almost out of breath. And the reason why is when I get around cars like this that evoke so much emotion, I get pretty stoked. And this one is hitting my #1 factor. Remember we talked about number 3, 2, 1 in terms of what's important to me. Horsepower and driving and all that. It's obviously very important, but there are aspects of owning a car that you can't speak it. It's not necessarily so tangible, and that's what I like to kind of focus on. So parked over there is I have my 95 Chevy Impala. It's 209,000 miles, it's beat up. I drove it in Manhattan, I lived there. I slept in the back seat of it when detailing wasn't so profitable back in the days. But I love it, and I would trade the Porsche before I would trade the Impala. And the reason why is I have that bond. Anyways, I'm getting that same kind of thing with this here, where it kind of pulls you in, and I just started noticing things. When you wash a car, you really get to know the car itself and feel the body and the frame and all that sort of thing. So I think I'm learning a lot by washing a car, and I know, some of you may go right over your head, and hopefully the people that are watching you, and into the detailing go like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. There is this weird bond that you get when you're washing it. So in the future, if I'm lucky enough to get any more press cars, I'm washing every single one of them to see if I have that comes with it. And I don't know what that word is, but emotion is the only thing I can think of. So what I'm gonna do real quick, as I was washing it, I realized that it doesn't really need that much clay, only on the front. So I'm gonna spot clay it, and I'll show you how to do that. But normally if I was claying it before, I would take my wash mitt see how it's still wet, with the wash mitt, and then clay it there. But I'm only going to clay the front of it, so if I have time I'll show you that. But you guys, we've shot a lot of videos on that. So anyways, while I'm drying it down, using a little bit of hydrate to dry it down, I want to talk to you about the two kind of big aspects for me that make this car very special. And the first one is this spot right here. If you look at this angle of the car, it gives you a little bit of that LFA kind of feel. Very sports car / exotic car / something special, and for me it's derived from right here. So keep a focus on that. The second thing is on the front of the car. It gives you more of a Ferrari feel, more of an Italian type feel, because of the voluptuousness of the curves, which is very Ferrari-esque. So I'm being drawn to that as well. And of course the rear. Now the rear also evokes a lot of emotion, but it has this weird thing between, and don't hop all over me on this one, but it gives me a feel like the Enzo. I know I said it, but not from the way it looks, but from the way that it's like, hey, this is an aspect of the car that shouldn't be overlooked. Usually it's the front that's like, bang, the grill is like, look at me in the grill kind of thing, and then the butt or the ass of the car is kind of like, it has to be there because it has to be there. This one's like, look at me, it's there. So it has the same kind of thing as for me, as the Enzo in terms of that emotion that it derives. The rear on this, I think, is tastefully done, and I love the way the generation has changed from last generation to this one. They did some drastic changes from the design aspect. Of course, the horsepower and the suspension, and the car handles like crazy. It's very tight, but I'll let the experts speak to that. I like to talk about the paint and the fit and finish, which is surprisingly good, as you know, GM cars in general are really coming up you know, that curve where the Germans had everything years ago, but we're really right at the, you know, level. Anyways, I'm going to keep drying this car down. As you can see, look, I haven't even put wax on it, and it's really smooth too, so that's why I wasn't, you know, as you're doing this you can figure out whether you need a clay or what have you. So I'm doing this in real time. Looks pretty spectacular. Let's dry it off. I'm going to clay that one little spot right there. Probably not going to get on the camera. And then we'll put some skin on here, do the interior, and go have some fun. What I like to do to make this pop a little bit more, because once the black stands out, kind of contrasts with the inner wheel well, especially because I can't make this black because there's carpet there, and the red of the vehicle. So what I do is I take a little sealant. And because, remember, this is clear coated, butterfly it, you can actually seal the wheels and they'll give you an extra pop. They'll stay cleaner longer. Is it going to repel the brake dust? No, there's no miracle thing like that. The closest thing I've seen is the Arm Roll, which is pretty good. But sometimes it changes the color of the rims that it's on. So be careful, just test things out. But it is a pretty successful product. For me, I'm just going to quickly, because again, time constraints, I'm going to seal. Put some sealant on there. It'll make everything pop out as quick as that. What? About 15 seconds. Come in with a microfiber towel, clean it off, and when we show up today, these wheels are going to pop. All right, so I'll finish that off camera. Next thing I want to do is put some tire shine on. Now it seems fairly obvious, but it's really going to match with this. It's really going to pop off. Now when I'm done with this video and I turn the camera off, I'm going to roll down the block a little bit and make sure the calipers look good, because I can't get my finger in all these little spots. We'll make sure it looks good. So first thing is I put a little bit on there, right? And I'll squeeze it in just a bit. And I'm just going to tap, just going to lightly push all these around. So I haven't even done anything yet. I'm just kind of getting it in there. Then I'm going to go in. And normally I don't like to do circles on the paint, but on the wheel, I can do circles or go back and forth, because you want to get it in between all these little letters. Then I'll take my thumb, see there's a little lip here? I'll take my thumb on the edge and drive it into the little lip around the edge, right? And this is a skinny sidewall, so one or two can be fine, you know, little beads of it. If you're doing, let's say, a truck or a Ford Explorer or something big, you might need a little bit more. Now, the last little trick is with this, see, I haven't put any more on there. There's plastic behind this. I'll come in and touch that plastic up. This is great, great, great for plastic trim. Now, it's gonna look spectacular. Let me just get the rest of this off, and I'll shoot an after shot, and you'll see the rims just pop along with the paint. This thing's gonna be pretty exciting. I'm stoked, as you can probably imagine. Soon after I finished waxing the car, I got a phone call from one of the event organizers saying, Larry, you got to get your butt in the city ASAP because there's a little bit more traffic we can see on, you know, on the traffic report. And I said, oh gosh, all right, I need to leave right now. So I didn't really get to do the interior the way I wanted to, but nonetheless, it was more important to get the car there than anything else at that point. So if you can see right now, look up in the sky, I'm not only chasing the traffic that I was about to hit, but I'm chasing the weather. Now, reports were saying that it was about to rain. So once I got on the West Side Highway, I look at my windshield, it's just started to sprinkle. Well, as you can see, we're in Manhattan, and we're on the West Side Highway, Upper West Side, and of course, it's raining outside, so I did a ton of waxing, and there's tiny little beads everywhere. This is sort of how it goes sometimes, but it is what it is. I'll take some videos, we'll still have some fun, but of course, it is black and nasty, and hopefully it passes through. I brought one microfiber towel, some spray wax, and we'll make do, we'll figure it out. Still fun. Now that I finally made it into this city, this 460 horsepower, 465 foot-pound torque, 1.03 G in the cornering, and one of the most sophisticated LT1 engines that pushes the Stingray 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds means absolutely nothing but frustration when you're stuck in New York City traffic. But you do get to see some interesting things along the way. Once I finally arrived at his hotel, I had to quickly place Jingleball stickers on the doors and the rear glass and give one last spray wax before Austin's press event.
It's like this car. The colors.
Woo! I get to drive it?
I wish.
Hi.
Look at all this traffic.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while.
It's gone. Be out of here.
Alright, so the car is parked right there. I'm gonna pan and look at all the people here waiting for him to, you know, come by and say hello.
We're beat.
People are losing their freaking minds.
Every day, man.
This is crazy. So clearly we're in Times Square. Corvette made a big hit, and Justin was clearly very popular. Pretty exciting. The car looks damn good though. I'm excited. Well, this has been an absolutely amazing day. I have to say, it is a spectacular car. It sounds great, and more importantly, the emotion, the feeling that you get when you're driving it is almost second to none. So I love it. If you guys have any questions, shoot me an email at ammonyc.com. And as always, thanks for watching. This was a weird but fun day. I'll talk to you guys soon.